morning, everybody. Jake here, and a little road trip this morning. Figured I would take a few minutes to discuss some sound, logical reasoning with one of the news stories that we've been fed the last few days. Let's take the whole Venezuelan ordeal apart for a minute. Of course, I'm assuming probably most of y'all by now have seen the video where we used a Reaper drone to take out a Venezuelan drug boat, which was apparently loaded with drugs and people headed to America. Alright, I'm no mathematician here or genius, but I got a little bit of common sense. So let's crunch some numbers on this thing. You want me to believe that 10 or 11 guys got in an open 25 or 30 foot skiff, okay, open top, to haul in, from what I could see, not a lot of packages in this boat, according to our drone surveillance. These 11 guys jumped in this boat with a bunch of drugs and set out across the Gulf, headed to America. Now, in case you don't know, as the crow flies, probably from South Florida to Venezuela is about 3,000 miles. Now, again, I'm not the smartest guy, and anybody trying to run drugs across the Gulf out there probably is not the smartest people either. But I have a hard time believing that these 11 guys would jump in this boat and attempt this passage 3,000 miles across open ocean in an open skiff would in itself be a feat. For 11 guys to survive that trip all at once, that's another feat. It sure didn't look like they had many supplies on that boat. I don't know that you could pack enough fuel on a boat that size with 4 engines on the back running at, they say, 70 miles an hour across the open ocean. I don't know that you're going to make it 3,000 miles. The math ain't mathing to me, guys. Now, we will never know the truth. I mean, that boat could have been anywhere. That could have been filmed years ago. Who knows what the truth and reality of that is? I'm sure just another excuse, lie, to convince the masses that what they are doing is the right thing. I think we all know that the government don't give two shits about the people and whether or not the drugs are brought in and how. I think that's fairly evident from the past. But apparently, also, yesterday or last night, within the last 24 to 48 hours, again, we'll never know the truth. Ironically, our Navy down there was buzzed by a couple of American-made F-16 planes. They say they were armed. Again, we will never know. And I've already seen YouTubers coming out this morning saying, you know, the ships were targeted, blah, blah, blah. Well, I can assure you that if our government is willing to waste resources and time with a drone and surveillance and missiles blowing a 25-foot skiff out of the water for whatever reason, if there was ever any threat from 2 American-made F-16s to those ships out there, those F-16s probably would not exist any longer. You know, the irony in that itself is probably a whole video. Again, we, as a country, the USA, has and always will be arming its enemies. Why did they even have F-16s? Where did they come from? Who allowed that to happen? Of course, we all probably understand also that Special Forces and CIA and all those other alphabet agencies are already operating on the ground in Venezuela and probably all over that area down there. Colombia, Mexico. I mean, we just seem to have our sticky little fingers into everything and everywhere. Oh no, guys, you know, I mentioned it yesterday. I fully expect a lot of this to spill over onto the American streets because like many of the other conflicts, unlike many of the other conflicts that we've been involved in the last 50 years, this one is kind of in the backyard down there on our own continent. It's not real hard for those people to get up here. And we all know they've been coming in here for a long time. Do you not think that the cartels did not take advantage of all that and infiltrate thousands and thousands and millions of people? Take into consideration, guys, it's not just Venezuela that we're going to be dealing with down there. A lot of countries are involved in this cartel. All over. They have people and assets all over. Don't think they're just going to roll over and let their billion-dollar business go away. It matters not whether they take out Maduro. That spider web reaches far and wide. There are many ready to take his place. I don't believe for a second that any of it is about narco-terrorism and anything to do with drugs other than, you know, the old government wants more control of it. I fully believe it is 100% energy related. Oil. Venezuela has, they tell us, one of the largest reserves basically on this side of the planet. So I fully expect a regime change down there that will be more friendly to the U.S. and willing to sell that energy. And of course the drugs and the cartel, that's just an added bonus. We all know who's been involved, agencies in that since, what, 50s, 60s? Just some food for thought, guys. Think about it. This ain't gonna be the average war where these guys, you know, follow laws and treaties and agreements and do do everything by the book. They are very well adapted for guerrilla warfare. Very violent tactics. They've been doing it a long time. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it, where to get through. Pay attention, keep your eyes open. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay safe.